When I was a kid, I wanted to be just like my older cousin. He was 5 years older than me and was the star of the football team and was the cool guy in school. I wore the same clothes that he and his friends wore. I played the same sports, and I got the same mullet haircut that they got. My parents would tell other people, oh yeah, Nate worships his older cousin. He copies how he swings a baseball bat. He copies how he celebrates after scoring a touchdown. He wants to be just like him. And that's what it means to worship. Loving somebody so much that you want to be just like them. Today, I think you could say that I worship the way that some friends of mine surf. I want to surf just like they do. I watch them in jealous awe as they pop up on the board effortlessly and make carving turns gracefully. I study them and I try to imitate them. I ask them questions in the water about how to read waves. I ask them questions on the shore about how to position myself correctly on the board. I ask them what exercises I should do for flexibility and balance when I'm at home. This is also what it means to worship Jesus. To be a Christian is to be a little Christ. His disciples followed in the footsteps of him as their rabbi and tried to imitate everything that he did. Look at him, they would say. He follows the law perfectly, and it doesn't make him a grouch like it does the Pharisees. How does he do it? He's so poor that he has no place to lay his head, and yet he lives with such joy and calm confidence. How does he do it? They probably thought to themselves, man, I have way more possessions and security than he does, and I don't live with half the inner peace. Master, show me how you do this, please. To worship Jesus means to study his life in the Gospels and to read them like the real biographies that they are. Worshiping Jesus means going under the surface of the text and trying to imagine yourself in his position because you want to respond the same way that he responds. You might, for instance, think about the courage that it takes to call out someone in a position of authority like Jesus did. You might think of the compassion that he showed to people who could do nothing for him. For me, and I think for all of us, it's way easier to kiss up to the people that can help us and to show no regard for the people below us who can do nothing for us. When we look at Jesus, it's like, oh, wow, Jesus, show me how you live like that. For whatever reason, worship in most Christian circles has been reduced to simply praising God with words, and mostly in song. And it usually ends there. We think that worship is something that we give to God, like the tithe that we drop in the offering plate every week. We think it's our duty to give these words of praise to God because he's this all-powerful being who created us and demands it from us. True worship, though, is all-consuming and never-ending because it's not something that I give to God. It's something that I want from God. I want to be just like Jesus, and this is my point. This is the highest compliment. This is the highest praise that I can give to God. Imitation is the highest compliment that we can give to anybody. If worship is something that comes from me, my well of words to say and emotions to express will quickly run dry. But if worship is me wanting to be like an infinitely good God, worship becomes never-ending and a never-ceasing desire. And because we can actually make progress in this goal of becoming more and more like God with the help of the Holy Spirit, each step forward that we take is filled with more and more joy. And that is the glory of God, as St. Irenaeus says, mankind fully alive. God's glory is not him sitting way up in the heavens gloating about how awesome that he is. It's him looking at us trying to become like him, and it fills him with pride.